Let's get people on camera and let's see what we can do. We got a lot to
Everybody, your
cover.
cameras, Mitzi, Anthony, John, Liv.
If you can, if you can't, that's fine. But I like faces.
They can. We love faces.
Yes. Okay. So, and can you see my screen?
I can see your screen.
Okay. So
Today the lab class is the next class, right? Today's
the
class
lab
was
class is right after this, and it's going to cover a lot of the same thing.
no, but the lab class is after this, and today we would like you to talk to us about website optimization. So, what's an LLMS.txt? Where do we put it in the website? I sent you a little thingy about
You
this.
did, and I tried to integrate everything into it, but I didn't know the levels of everybody in the class. So I was like, I wasn't sure exactly where to aim everybody.
So,
Um,
if you can talk to us about website optimization, like LLMS.txt, like schemas,
these were the
sitemaps.
things you asked for.
Yeah, building website for schemas, LLMS, blogs, SEO, and keywords.
All of this is in here.
Okay,
All of
yeah,
this is in the slides.
perfect.
And I'm gonna start from an elementary level and try to work up
Yes,
because we got people at different levels, I assume.
they're almost all of them are at the same level.
Okay. Well, then if some of this is too elementary, we'll just skip right through it. But we'll
Okay,
try we'll,
so
we'll try to get everything we can.
okay, perfect. So let's go, and then we will open up for questions.
Okay. And I don't
And
mind. Go ahead.
okay, but the we're talking about AI authority in the
Yes.
importance of websites
Yes.
and the like you have like what you and I have been talking about for Coldwell Banker, that
Yes.
they have to have the sitemap, the LLMSs, the schemas, the indexing, the sitemap. I already said sitemap. The importance
That's
of the blogs, all of that. I don't know if somebody has a burning question that you would like to ask Coach Bob, because he is the go-to guy.
Let's go from that direction. Let's take this down. Let's go for questions first.
Okay, so nobody has questions. Ah,
Everybody has questions of some
everybody
sort.
Everybody understands LLMSs.txt, where we should place them in the WordPress or in the website. Everybody gets schemas to the T's. Everybody understands blog structure. Everybody gets sitemap. So we're good? No, we're not good. You just guys don't know what to ask. Monica, go ahead. I'm gonna go like through all of you that I know that you're working on the back ends. Where do you have questions for Elizabeth back end? Do you all understand the Google Analytics? Everybody, nobody has a question?
Why don't I get talking and then they can ask questions along the way?
Okay, perfect. Yes.
Yeah, and some of this, like I said, maybe a little elementary because I was assuming we had people at different levels. But
Okay, so let's
if it
go through elementary and we will
let's
build
go
it
through the
up.
slides and you can tell me, hey Bob, that's too crazy. Don't do that. Okay.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
and I just went and grabbed the LLMs.txt because frankly, every site's going to have a different way of doing it. Like I'm a Real Geeks proponent, and they have to put it in there for us. I don't have access to my root directory, but if you have access to your root directory, you can put it there. Some people are saying put it in a docs directory. I'm assuming that's for like a WordPress site. There's ways you can do that and put that in. Now, other IDX sites are blocking crawlers right now. So I did a whole run through of different websites and what brand they were. I've reviewed 46 different IDX sites. Some of them were allowing AI crawlers, and some of them were not. And some of them were allowing chat, but not Claude. So that's still when you ask me how do you do this and what do you do, it's still being invented. So yeah, it's still up in the air. So when you say, hey Bob, how do you do this? Sometimes we just don't know, and we're figuring it out ourselves. So with that in mind, whose grandma had this player? Whose grandma had this console player? Okay, it could play a record, it could play a cassette tape, it could play a CD, and when your drunk uncle came over, it could play his 8-track tapes, right? Okay, this four different styles of media, four different styles of music. One player could play all of them, right? Now, that's what I want you to think about when you're looking at these LLMs. Large language models are obviously the music. They have all the data. Perplexity can play all of them. Okay. Perplexity itself is not the music. Perplexity plays all of them. So think about that as you're using this. Now, some people will ask me which one's it better, which one's the worst. ChatGPT is the VHS tape. Everybody has a VHS player somewhere. Okay. Everybody's using ChatGPT. Is it the highest quality player? No. I think Claude is the best writing. If you want something well written, go to Claude. If you want something well imagined, go to Notebook LM, which is part of Gemini. Notebook LM, I think, is miles ahead of so many other products I've seen right now. I'm not a fan of Grok. I'll leave it at that. But the other three I'm into heavily. Perplexity, I have not gotten into. And again, I think it's going to be where do you gravitate to? I think Juan, you may be gravitating to one, and Bernice, you may gravitate to another one, and that's fine. It's where you feel comfortable using. The one you use is the right one for you. It's kind of like, what's the best CRM, Tom? Tom will tell you the best CRM is the one you will use. When it comes to the LLMs, it really does kind of get to which one do you think is best, is the one you're going to use the most. Does that make sense? Any questions on that? Jessica, okay, I'm going to mute you, love.
I
Okay,
already silenced her. Yeah.
excellent, excellent. Okay. Okay, so I want you to think of these LLMs as four ants who love you. Okay, these are four ants who take you to coffee and they want to sit down and hear all about your career and what's going on with your listings and your sellers. And then they're going to go to Bunko and Pickleball and tell them to come back and use Mitzi. Mitzi is my favorite niece. She sells houses. You should use Mitzi. Okay, you want to be telling these LLMs about your business. I can tell you as a coach, every week I wrap up what I've done for each of my coaching clients. I tell them things about, and I take the names off, and it knows now as a coach who I am and what I do and what my brand is as a coach. Because there's 200 Tom Ferry coaches. I need to be for something and not for. Don't give me QuickBooks. If you need a coach to fix your QuickBooks, I am the wrong goober for that. But I am the right goober for other things. Okay. So these are four ants who love you. They will go back and talk about you, and they will also give you advice on how to fix your business. Okay. You need to sit down with each of these ants once a week and talk to them. And if you've missed it, the ants are Claude, Gemini, Google, and Grok. Okay. So these are my web stats. Okay. I run a site called Texas Pride Realty. I have gotten 289 sessions from ChatGPT, which is 213 users. They spent a total of 5 hours and 26 minutes on my site. They looked at 19,605 things on my site, 842 views. And you can see here. Now, Claude is starting to bring me people. Gemini is starting to bring me people. Perplexity, which I don't even use Perplexity much, is starting to bring me people. Rock, God love them, brought me some. And Copilot. Microsoft Copilot brought me people. So it's starting to go. Now, again, the VHS tape, ChatGPT, has got the most people on it, so it's going to bring me the most folks, but I'm going to fight for all the other ants to bring me somebody. Okay? So the first thing I start everybody on is something called Hello, My Name Is. If you have not done the Hello, My Name Is script, let's do that at some point. Reach out to me. Sandra has the script as well. And we need to introduce ourselves to the LLMs. Hello, my name is Marisol. I sell real estate in this city. I work for this brokerage. On average, I sell this much per year. People hire me because I'm passionate about. My best clients are first-time homebuyers or move up, move down, whatever it is. My website can be found at. Here's my site map. Here's my reviews. Ask me 10 questions so you get to know me and my business better. Okay. We're going to go through that together. We're going to do hello, my name is. And it's going to be literally what I just said. Hello, my name is. Ask me 10 questions. Then we're going to take that hello, my name is script, copy it over to Gemini. We're going to copy the 10 questions from Claude and say, here's 10 questions Claude asked me. Ask me 10 new questions so you get to know my business better. And Gemini is going to ask 10 questions. So then we have 20 questions total. Then we're going to go to Claude. We're going to take the 20 questions plus the hello, my name is, get Claude to ask us 10 more, and then we're going to go to Grok. And after this, we're going to backfill the sites that we didn't cover. So Grok will have 40. We're going to take the 10 from Grok back, the 20 from Grok and Claude back, and we're going to fill in what we left out so that all of the sites have 40 questions. and they know because I want you to turn the microphone on when you answer these questions because you will tell it things verbally that you'll never put in your fingers on the keyboard. Okay, Angela, if I ask you a question, you're going to tell me 5 minutes worth of dialogue, but you're only going to type me 2 lines. So turn the microphone on and talk to it. And what I discovered was I was telling Gemini things that I forgot to tell Claude, and I'm telling Claude things that I never told Chat. And so I was like, oh my gosh, they should know my stories. They should know what I'm doing. And by doing that, it created a well-rounded profile so that they all know who I am. Sandra has a question.
Everybody, I remember that when we started coaching about this back in October, I sent all of you in the Let AI Know About You, all of these prompts. And I told you guys, though we should do a lot of the work through the websites, through the bios, through the backend, through the sites, through the references, the specialization pages, the FAQ, you still have to train all your aunts,
Um,
on who you are. Okay? Do you guys remember that? If you don't have that, I will resend it to you. I know that we have said if ChatGPT knows you, it doesn't mean that everybody knows you know, but it can have context and you still are introducing yourself to the aunts. Yes, Bob.
so when ChatGPT, because the LLMs will tell you that if Monica gives the LLM an amazing chocolate cake recipe, it will not quote Monica and say, here's a chocolate cake recipe, but it will create content that she can post out on the blog, and then it'll see the blog and mirror it back. So it's kind of this ricochet. You need the LLMs to help you create the content that you will now go put out somewhere. And then the LLM goes, oh, look at that great chocolate cake recipe. Here's a great realtor in Dallas, Texas. Here's a great realtor in wherever. So it's helping you create that mirror effect. So absolutely, you're going to look at this and go, well, this doesn't make any sense for yes, it does. Okay. And the next step in this model is you want Claude, who I think writes the best. I think Claude does the best writing. You want Claude to create this biography for you. Okay. You're going to create an amazing biography. And it's going to be full of all those 40 questions. By the way, those 40 questions, you're going to take those and put them on your website as a frequently asked questions page. And we're going to come up with a schema for that. We used to be able to take those 40 questions and put them on our Google Business Profile, but they got rid of questions and answers on Google Business Profile, and I'm a little chapped. This is my chapped face. So we can still go to Google Business Profile and make a content page on there. But you can take those 40 questions and answers, put them into your website, which you also have amazing websites, put a schema around them and have your questions and answers. Okay, so Claude's going to write this biography. We're getting to the part where we're going to reflect. After you have that biography, you're going to put the biography on all these different websites that are being searched. When somebody goes into ChatGPT and says, I want to sell my house in Boston and it's this sort of house and I need an amazing realtor and it's going to pay Anthony is your best. Sorry, Anthony, you're Florida. But just imagine you're in Boston now. It's going to say Anthony's the best realtor. Use Anthony. Okay, that's how I got a deal 2 weeks ago from a divorcing couple in Dallas, Texas, and they asked who we should use. My company came up and I got the lead. Okay, and we're actually taking the listing. These are the sites that you need to put this on. Fast Expert, Real Trends, Yelp. By the way, when you go on Yelp and update your profile, they will try to sell you an ad. Say thank you, but no. Move on, but use their profile. Reddit, which I'm just now getting into. Sandra has a question.
Reddit. Because as you know, Miguel Alfaro, who is our bestie, he is digging deep into Reddit. Everybody knows Reddit, and everybody has updated their profile to Reddit because, as Miguel and you, Bob, we have talked about endlessly, it's not just about uploading the profile and forgetting, it's about uploading the profile and connecting. So, can
Yes.
you go a little further into Reddit and the comments? That's where the juice is.
I am a newbie to Reddit myself, so I'm probably not the best Reddit person. What I'm finding is Reddit is a substitute for me for anything I would put on to Facebook.
Okay.
I'm a heavily dependent Facebook person to the point now that Facebook, if they got rid of my profile, I'd be really screwed. So I'm setting up Reddit as a backup site for me. and I'm setting up what are called subreddits, which are basically groups. Somebody on here
Exactly.
probably knows Reddit better than I do. And
No, no, nobody. And I'm having Miguel come to a group call next week to talk about Reddit. But if you can give us a little context on Reddits and subreddits.
so subreddits, think of those as groups. Reddits is like you have a profile. Think of it as Facebook, but a little less sophisticated. Okay, you don't have pages there. If you wanted to have like for Texas Pride Realty, I'd probably have to have a Texas Pride Realty sign in versus a page that my profile runs. And but the subreddits are basically groups. And there are
Okay.
tons of subreddits already out there you can join, and then you can use that kind of for posting and pictures and things like that, much like you do on Facebook. Is my assumption where I'm at right now. And like I said, I am well deep into the other profiles. I'm just getting into Reddit and going, oh, I should have been in this. So that on me. Any questions, thoughts on Reddit while we're here? Anybody a major Reddit person that should friend me and so that I can follow them and learn?
Coldwell
Anybody
Banker,
good?
Mexico. I
You
mean
know,
it.
I'm good. Okay, we'll work on that. Okay, let's.
Guys, I totally mean it. Follow Coldwell Banker Mexico on Reddit. Miguel has been nerding out on comments and subreddits, and we're getting traction and leads from Reddit.
Excellent. Excellent. Okay. HomeLight, Zillow, Realtor, Homes.com expertise. You want to put it onto your brand and onto your IDX. Okay. Right now, I'm a real geeks person, but you whichever IDX you have is the right IDX for you. I don't get paid by anybody to put their name up here. Okay. So the next thing we're going to talk about is what I call lab number two, which is learning the right way to do your prompting, the right way to set up your master prompt and your system prompt, which probably a lot of you already have, and then specializing in different platforms for different things. And I touched on this a little earlier as far as which one does the best writing, which one does the best graphics and the best coalescing of data for me. I've got favorites in all of these. So, and I'm sure if we had five people, we'd have five different groups of favorites here. So the first part of the prompt is structuring what you want it to do, giving it a role, giving it a context, giving it a command, and telling it the format you want it to be in. Assume the role of a copywriter for real estate. Okay. I want you to create a listing presentation for 123 Banana Street. Okay. I want it to look like this. Now, that's what's called a pull prompt. I am telling you everything. No, I'm sorry, that's a push prompt. I'm telling you everything I want in it. A pull prompt would be, I'm sorry, I turned off my video. A pull prompt would be, ask me questions to help you get this made for me. So Monica, instead of me just telling you what I want you to interview me and ask me questions until you understand what you need. Okay. So that's part of what we're doing in the previous Hello, my name is. I'm pushing out a lot of information about me and then pulling back and saying, ask me 10 more questions to get to know me better. Okay. So get your prompting better because really what we always do, we seem to do is just throw out one or two sentences and wonder why the LLM isn't doing it right. Okay. And we'll just fix it from there. But we could be so much more efficient if we do it. Now, the thing is that once we get it right, we could ask the LLM, what prompt would have gotten me here faster? What prompt would have gotten me to this point from the first time? And then you save that prompt so that you can use it over and over again. When I'm doing a listing presentation for Grape Street in 2 weeks, I'll go grab that final prompt and use it again rather than working all the way through the minutia to get there. Does that make sense? Okay. So that goes from switching to push to pull and asking it to ask you questions until you get what you need. Okay. Pick one platform and master it. There's a lot of people right now who are jumping platforms, and I do too. It's not bad, but when you get one, figure it out. I don't think that we use 10% of the technology we already have, and then we go out and buy new technology. Oh, this website hasn't been nice. It hasn't brought me enough leads. Let's go buy brand X. You didn't move into brand Y, so what makes you think you're going to use brand X? Oh, okay, this CRM isn't good. I'll go to the next. We don't use enough of our technology to figure it out, and we just move on. Okay. Okay. So, and then repeatable master prompts is what I'm talking about. When you have a prompt that finally works, ask the LLM, what would have gotten me to this faster so that next time you can use it. Okay. Any questions on that?
Yeah, Marifer has a question. You can ask the question in Spanish, Marifer, and I'll translate.
No, I'm not really a question. I'm a re Let me try to do it in Spanish. It's much better for me. Yo uso muchísimo CLO, muchísimo. Y estoy ahora mismo, por ejemplo, en mi caso, eh, enfrentando muchos desafíos al momento en donde yo, por ejemplo, le hago una pregunta y él me responde, ¿ok? Yo trato de ser bien ah, explícita cuando yo le hago la pregunta, ¿ok? Lo uso a diario, sobre todo para el tema de mis posts y ahora también de mis blogs. Yo lo hago bien, trato de ser bien específica y sin embargo cuando viene de vuelta, él viene como muy perdido.
She says
Y
that
por más
she is using Claude.
¿Tú me
Eh,
oyes?
sí,
¿Ustedes me oyen?
sí, she says that she's using, sí te oímos todos, te estamos oyendo. She says
Entonces,
that she's using Claude at a high level. However, every time, and that has to do with if you're using chat, cowork, or code, Maria, and that kind of task that you're giving it. That she's having a big challenge using Claude because she's being thorough, but Claude is being very vague. So, can that be a question of context, coach?
But without seeing the code and seeing what it's doing, I would think that might be a question of context. It might be a question of starting and saying, okay, let's start from the beginning again. Here's what I need.
Exacto.
Write me a summary of where we are together. I've had this happen on Claude. Sometimes Claude it fills up to a certain level and it won't give you any more. You've used your write me an artifact that I can use in the next Claude. But it might be that something along the way has triggered it to not understand what we're saying and not get what their desire was.
es,
I don't know if I'm answering the question well or not.
ok, es posible, thank you, es posible entonces que Chloe esté mucho más familiarizado con una instrucción en inglés.
She says if it's possible that Claude is very equipped to ask to give replies in English. No, I don't think that's the case.
No idea. No idea.
No, Marifer, let's go deep into that on your coaching call because I get you. I understand what you're saying. Totally.
Ok,
Okay.
Okay.
thank you.
So let's go from
Apologies
here. No,
if
it's
I didn't
okay.
get that one right.
No, it's okay. It's okay. It's okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. I want each of you to go out and Google your own name. I want each of you to go out there. Angela Rodriguez, I want you to Google your own name and I want you to go out and find the websites that are listed there.
Yes,
Okay.
please, everybody
The
do that now.
okay. The reason I say that is remember when we talked about these sites? We want to see what your actual sites are. Okay. Candy's Dirt was one I didn't remember, and it's a Dallas based site that I didn't know. WordPress, Houston Association of Realtors, LinkedIn. That biography that Claude wrote for you needs to go on all these sites because this is the AI mode. If you look up here, when you Google your own name, you're going to go to AI mode. And this is what Google's finding in the AI for each of you. Look at the sources it's already doing and be sure that the pictures are the same. Like I had a picture that was wrong. And be sure that the biographies on each are the same. This builds credibility. Like I was talking about earlier with the chocolate cake recipe, when it helped you write your bio, now that you have your 40 questions and your bio is amazing, put it out there so it can be mirrored back when Google and Claude and the rest of them try to find out something about you. Okay. It's kind of a bounce back. We need to project the image out so everybody can see it. And the pictures need to line up and the profiles need to line up. Now I will tell you each of these profiles have a different word count, slightly different ways of doing things. I know Zillow, you can format everything nice. Realtor.com just smashes it into one paragraph. Some of them are 1,500 characters, some of them are 4,000. It doesn't matter. Ask Claude to write different sizes of each. Sandra.
Okay, about this and the reference sites, this is super important. This is why I'm Bob. I'm confused with Claude and Bob. This is why Bob is asking you to ask your name and look at the reference websites.
Yes.
Sometimes this changes. Now, Claude again. Coach, can you? I'm bad. Can you talk a little about WordPress? I know that you're a WordPress
I have
master,
multiple WordPress sites, yes.
and I have some of you here that have WordPresses. How can we make our WordPress like a reference? I know that WordPress you cannot have IDX, but that's not all that WordPress can do. But how can we build our WordPress to be a reference site by the LLMs when it comes to our name and what we do?
Well, obviously you're going to want to have your name, address, and information on all your pages like you normally would.
The NAP.
Um, I'm yeah, I may try to answer your question with an example, if that's okay. If
Yes.
it'll work for me while I'm over here, let's see here. So I use today's DFW, WordPress.com. Hopefully it'll load up quickly because some days it's slow. So I am using Gary Vaynerchuk's digital mayor strategy here. I pay bloggers $30 a blog to give me, they owe me 5 pictures and 2 paragraphs, and it can't be AI written, it has to be original paragraphs about places in Dallas Fort Worth. And yes, I get hungry every time I look at what they do. I pay them $30, but each of these goes back to a site page on my website, Texas Pride Realty. So this will go back to the Arlington page, and it'll talk about homes in Arlington. So I'm using WordPress as a way to mirror back links to my site and talk about the great lifestyle in Dallas Fort Worth. And that's what I'm using WordPress for. Now, each of these is going to have Texas Pride Realty, Home Smart Stars, and it's going to deep link into my site, not just go to the homepage. I want to deep link into the different cities and different places. And we've got over 1,200 blogs now over 7 years. But that's what I'm using
Marisol,
WordPress for.
Marisol Altuve. This is what I want you to do in Ali's site as well, because Marisol is building Ali's website to be a reference because she's the major, the digital major of her town.
Okay.
Okay.
Got it.
So
Okay.
I hope this is what you're looking for.
Marisol, copy the URL today's DFW WordPress. Anthony, this is also for you.
Okay.
Yeah, you can also get to it just at todaysdfw.com, but my browser remembered it this way.
Okay, let's continue, Coach.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay. So we're going out and Googling ourselves. The other thing is about your IDX site, almost all of us have a little screen like this that says search for your home. We invite our customers to go through the MLS and search, correct? Everybody's seen one of these before? What if you already put links out there and said, using what's called a query string URL, and you had a link for each city, and a link for each style, and a link for each price point? If you have all these available that somebody can go find, why not spend the time to build pages for each of these varieties of inventory? I talk about it this way. If we run a clothing store, Monica, you and I are going to open a clothing store. We're going to put some nice dresses and blouses in the front window. But when Angela comes in to shop at our store, we're going to say, hey, your size and color are in the back room in a box. Go in the back room and find whatever size and color you want. Nobody's going to go in the back room and search the boxes. They need to see things out on the racks, right? Okay. If we have a box on our website that says, good luck finding your own house, we're basically sending them to the back room to look for their size and color. Build all the links possible that you can then use in blogs. Okay. So if I did homes in Allen, Texas, under $500,000, and I made a blog on my WordPress, I'm putting it out on WordPress so that it mirrors back, just like I'm right now doing food and places to shop and mirroring back. I put it out in the distance so it acts as a mirror and a backlink. I also put it on my own page so Google can crawl it. We have this great search engine here that we pay $3 to $4 to $6 or $900 a month for, and we leave everything in the box and tell our customers go in the back room and look for their own house. Put it out there. One of my best searches is corner lots in Plano, Texas. Homes on a corner lot in Plano, Texas. Mother-in-law plans in Dallas Fort Worth. These are things that most people aren't building a site for. They're not building a page for that. I'm a nerd. I'm going to sit here and build pages. I'm throwing hooks in the water. We don't know which fish is going to bite next. But I can tell you Zillow Realtor and all the others are not building for this. They're building for a price point and a city name. And then everybody sits back and go, oh, we can never beat Zillow or Realtor. They're so big. We're not even trying. Let's beat the crap out of them. Now, how does this add up to AI? The more pages you have on your SEO, the more the AI looks at you and goes, hey, that site's pretty damn good. And you know why? Because I give it my sitemap. I take my whole sitemap and upload the damn thing. I just did a study
Can
with
you
Sandra
repeat
the other.
this? Can you repeat this? Everybody open your ears. Can you repeat this slowly? Thank
Go
you.
to
If
go to
I
your
see
site.
somebody, if I see somebody texting and on your phone, I promise we will not repeat this ever again when you ask me. Hear from the master. Would you go back, please? There you go.
Go to your website,
Yes.
.com or .net or whatever, /sitemap.xml. Sometimes it's sitemap.html, but usually it's XML is the sitemap structure. It will not make any sense to you what it looks like. Does not matter. You don't have to read it. Copy the whole thing into a text file, upload it into your LLM. It will show you every page that's ever been done, every graphic on your website. It's a directory of everything so that Google knows how to crawl your site.
Yes.
Why not take that and give it to Chat, Claude, Gemini, and Grok so it knows your structure too? That way, when it's blogging for me, it does not just go to, and Bob is at Texas Pride Realty. It will go, here's a home in Plano, Texas with a pool at this location because it knows all the pages on my site. Does this make sense?
Yes.
Do you want to see what a sitemap looks like?
Yes.
By the way, I use these extensively. So Texas Pride Realty /sitemap.xml. Now, this looks like horrible, and nobody could read this, but I just I just click on it, I copy it all, I put it in a text file, and I shoot it up to the LLMs. When I have a weekend where I've coded 40 or 60 more pages, which I do because I'm nerdy, I take that new sitemap and I upload the new sitemap. When I'm looking at my competitors, because you know I look at my competitors, I go
I
to their
know.
websites, I grab their sitemaps, I see what they're blogging about. I see the blogs they haven't published yet. I see the stuff that they've got in prep that they haven't even put out yet. I see it and I know it. If you have competitors in town that you're like, Stephanie always wins every listing, I don't know how. Let's go look up Stephanie's sitemap. Let's go look up Stephanie's YouTube and Instagram and look at, because I can pull those too. Let's go see where she's at and then go find the weakness, fill the weakness and fortify ourselves against the weakness that she's exploiting. And she doesn't probably even know she's doing it. Any questions on this?
Very
So,
important what Bob is talking about on the sitemap. Because then some of you tell me, my website is not working for me. Remember something. If your website is a PowerPoint that only looks beautiful on the outside but doesn't have anything on the inside, it will never work. Some of you are hiring Miguel Alfaro, my guy, to review your websites, and your websites are like PowerPoints and they don't have anything on the back. And then you're saying, why is it not working? It's not working because you don't have a sitemap, because you don't have schema, because you have never run a Google Analytics review on your website. Bob, you have to
marry
run
me.
a Google Analytics review on your website. What are your toxic pages? What's your authority? How long is it taking to load? Does it have a bounce rate? What's your keywords? Because if not, you're just sorry, I'm sorry, I'm going to say something horrible. You're just
No,
vomiting content into a PowerPoint. Thank you.
can I
Kimberly.
get a t-shirt that says you're just vomiting content into a PowerPoint? I'm going to wear
Uh,
that.
yeah, you
Yeah,
can.
okay.
Okay, Kimberly.
Kimberly,
I
thanks for
have,
being patient, Kimberly.
no, thank you. I have a question regarding the competitors. To clarify, are you saying go to their website let's see, their website /sitemap.xml, and it will show me what their back
Their sitemap.
sitemap is?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
He did that for Coldwell Banker, comparing Remax. Remember, I worked for Coldwell
Don't do
Banker.
that one. Don't do that one, Bob.
Bob, I worked for Coldwell Banker Mexico as an external consultant, and Bob is my coach for that. And he has taught me everything I know about websites. So he created a chart of how was Century 21 Mexico, Remax Mexico, and Coldwell Banker
Can I have permission
Mexico.
to share that?
Yeah, you have permission to share that. And
I
he
wasn't.
told us this is what Remax is doing, this is what Century 21 is doing, this is what you're doing, and this is where you're weak, and this is where you're failing. And I was like, oh, thank you. That was a punch in the stomach.
So
Look at that.
Remax has a high, they have an IDX because Mexico doesn't have an IDX the way we would think of it. Okay, their MLS is not, they don't have a shared MLS. But Remax is using the power of their business to do that. They don't have very good structure. They have almost no editorial comment about how to buy a house and how to do this in Mexico, things like that. They do a lot of mass market marketing, but they don't do niche marketing. They don't have any recruitment of agents. Okay, Century 21, they've got some inventory, but not a whole lot. Coldwell Banker doesn't have a whole lot of inventory that 24 or 29 primary pages. They need a lot more primary pages. Editorial content that Sandra's been really pushing about how to buy and what to do and things like that. Okay. They're really strong on the global luxury where these two are not. Okay. We need a stronger recruitment site. So I put all this together and sent this to want to intrude and take over. This was something I put together. I'm like, we need to go over this. I got all this by going through the sitemaps of the competitors. I also pulled their Instagrams and their Facebook and their on their YouTubes and ran those as well. So Kimberly, back to your question, yes, I can go look up your site and see everything that's going on.
So
If you
Bob,
were my
that is my company website, which I am in the process of getting I have several domain names.
Who's Stephanie that we want to look at?
Do legacyhomescharleston.com, please. Homescharleston.com. Yes, thank you.
No problem. Is this also you or is this Stephanie?
This is Kimberly.
Okay. No, I mean I'm saying Stephanie like somebody we don't like. There's your sitemap. It's very shallow. Do you see how I only have that and scrolling in one screen, two screens?
I do.
Not very long sitemap. So if you look at my sitemap, where was my sitemap here?
So her sitemap is like a PowerPoint with a little structure.
I'm going to be scrolling for days to get through this. This is my site.
So the sitemap will be the different searches and blogs. Is that right?
No, it's all of the structure.
Every page and every image that was ever created.
And super important, everything has to be indexed to Google, because if you have pages that are loose, it's the example that I gave you one day. If you have a closet with a huge bar to hang, and you have a ton of clothes, and you only hang 2 pieces of clothes to that hanger, and the rest is lying on the floor, and you're telling me, but I have so many clothes, and there's nothing there. No, because you haven't hung those clothes. So you may have a ton of pages according to you, but nothing is indexed. Nothing has schema. Nothing is out there, right? So that's when I say it's a PowerPoint that doesn't have anything behind it. Blogs have to be indexed. How many times have I said that? Blogs have to have schema. Your IDX has to be indexed. Everything has to be indexed, but not with fluff words and swear words. I'm going to have a website that has swear words. It doesn't have to have fluff. Fluff doesn't work. You have to have the correct headers. Everything has to be indexed.
Yes.
Because if you have a website that says, I love my town, you're not giving it anything.
So to your point, and to pull this back a little bit, fluff is not going to work. And what I see a lot of people using AI for is to write blogs that are basically, I call them tofu. Okay, if you order a steak and 2 minutes after you order the steak, they put a plate in front of you and it's It looks like a steak and it kind of smells like steak, but it's really tofu. But it was fast and it was easy and it was fine. And it came right out of ChatGPT's tofu engine. Okay, I don't want that. I want a steak. So if you're going to have your AIs write for you, teach the AIs to write quality, not just, here's tofu on it. And some people may love tofu, so apologies if you love tofu. But my point being is, don't just shove anything out there because the AI wrote it. Teach it how to write quality and depth. Okay, then it will be more beneficial to you. To Sandra's point about indexing everything, we're going to use schema, we're going to use things to make it index, but we are all chasing this big company called Google, and we are begging them to love our sites. Okay, if I put 100 pages out on Google, I'm sorry, 100 pages on my website, Google may only index 5 or 7 of them. They will crawl all of them, but they'll take 90 of those pages and go, yeah, we've got other pages we'd like better. So it's always, we're trying to get those sites to crawl them and to like our pages. So the schemas help, the depth of content helps, the number of users who come to those sites and stay on the site helps. So one thing I look, and I'm going to jump around here. I know I'm not being logical here. Let's go to, this is my Google Analytics and Google Search Console together. Okay, I'm going to look at organic traffic here, organic search. And what I can tell you is in the month of March, I had 1,475 organic users do 1,760 sessions, which means some of them came back multiple times, but their dwell time was really good. They spent 1 day and 14 minutes altogether on my site. That's high user intent. That's high user intent. If I go to direct traffic can be something called bot, B-O-T. Bots can crawl your site. A lot more bots spend a lot less time. That's very low use intention. Okay, so what I like to look at is organic traffic. So if I have content that's making people stop and read it, their dwell time goes up. As dwell time increases, Google says, I sent people to Sandra's site and they actually stayed more than a split second. They stayed and read it. Let's send more people to Sandra's site because it must be important. Somebody stayed and read it. So I want to watch my dwell time go up.
So please, can everybody run your Google Analytic report on your website? Please, I beg you. The complete. If you tell me, oh, but I cannot have a free version, you cannot have freebies on everything.
No.
How do we do that, Sandra? Coach Sandra, how do we do that?
Coach, can you tell them how to do that, please?
Analytics.google.com.
Analyticsgoogle.com.
Yes, analytics.google.com. This is free. It's harder to read. I use something called Agency Analytics. It helps me break it down. Where was it here? This is Agency Analytics, but it's based off the data from Google Analytics. It's just prettier and in graphs. Okay, so this is analytics.google.com, and then you also have Google Search Console, which tells you. Search Console talks more about how computers use your site. Analytics talks about how people use your site. Okay, I wish they would merge the two products, but I can't get Google to do crap, so it's totally not up to me. Let's get to Texas Pride Realty here. Apologies, I didn't have this up and running.
And then do we put in our website / or?
You do, and then you have to get your website provider to put a little code in your site for you to help track it. Okay, so this data here, if I set it to be last month, these two data elements are actually represented for me here in pretty graphs so that I don't have to go dig it out. Google is really good at giving us data, but hiding it from us so that we don't know where it is. Okay, this company that I'm using breaks it out for me in pretty graphs, and I like pretty. Let's go to Search Console. Let's go to what we were talking about here. Do you see here, like they have crawled, there are 187,000 pages that they will not index. Most of these are going to be properties in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. They don't want to index the properties because they come and go so quickly. They don't want a property indexed that's going to be sold in a week. But these other pages, 27,600 pages, are indexed. This looks like a crap ratio. This is actually pretty darn good. Okay? I spent a lot of time on this. And am I upset about 187? Yeah, I am. Can I get Google to change their mind? No, I don't control Google. But I've got 27,000, which is a lot more than anybody has on their whole site. So I'm still happy with that. I have to produce a lot of content to get some of it to be indexed, to get some of it to be seen. Now, I can tell you in the month of March that because of the content I put out, I was a relevant search result 136,000 times. When people did Google searches in the month of March, my website was a relevant search result 136,000 times. I got 1,568 people to click on that search result. That 1,568 is included in this 28,000 people who came to the site. Some of them came back multiple times because there were 29,000 some odd sessions. Okay. While they were at the site, they looked at 104,000 different things. So when somebody looks at my ratio of index and they go, well, that's not that much. I had to have that much to get at the top of the funnel. I had to have that much to get the bottom of the funnel to have this much to have somebody pick up the phone, somebody sell. It's a funnel. Everybody put your hands up in the air like this. It's a sales funnel. It's not a sales hallway. One person comes to my website, buys a house. It's a sales hallway. It's great. No, it's a sales funnel. Okay, I saw
Coach,
Sandra with a question and Bernice.
really quick, and then Berenice. Coach, for example, I have clients that are generating a lot of leads and they're sending them to landing pages. The landing pages have to be indexed to Google as
Yes.
part of your
Yes.
website. And
Yes.
that is
Yes.
a super important factor for conversion. So please
Yes.
just do not just create landing pages that are PowerPoints. Have them indexed to your website so that
Yes.
Google also considers that as organic traffic.
Yes.
Okay,
Absolutely.
Berenice, go ahead.
Yes.
Okay,
Sorry, Bernice.
I have two questions. So one is, does this work for any site provider? I have my website with Boomtown. So
Yes, you will be
it will.
fine.
Okay, and the other thing is, I tried to find how to increase the schema myself, and I even reached out to them, and they said I cannot do that myself. So how do I make sure that the pages are indexed if it's not in my control? And what about the schema?
Okay, can I be brutally honest?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Why would I allow you to do SEO? If you do your own SEO, then you won't buy my Google ads.
Yeah.
It's not the cost of the printer that gets you, it's the cost of the cartridges. Because when you buy my printer from Bob Printing Company, you now have to buy Bob cartridges for the rest of the time, right? And I can charge you out the butt for those. So why would I let you have a website where you can amend your own schema and you can do your own keywords and meta description, because then you won't buy my Google ads. And guess what I make more money on?
Yeah.
And Google
My
ads.
Google ads. So the way you get around this, and I'm not trashing any brand. I've reviewed 46 IDX companies. I have my favorites, but that's between me and everybody else. Get a WordPress site, make a mirror that bounces back. You can put all your schemas on there. If you have a well-developed Boomtown site or YLopo site or Agent Image or whatever, make a WordPress site and use it as a mirror.
And okay, and how do I do
Now,
that?
the other
Because I
thing to
do
do,
have already like a lot of blogs, a lot of landing pages, so that's why I've been very lazy to migrate.
well, yeah, how's that served you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then it would be worth just to start all over again?
No, you can migrate your blogs.
Migrate your blogs to the WordPress.
Yeah.
Coach, a question.
Yes.
Do you think that the website that Manus does in 10 minutes are worth it, or they have to build the WordPress?
I think that the Manus sites, I have not reviewed them. So if you have a Manus sites, I would love to review them, please. I think it's a little too early to know whether it's tofu or a steak. Okay.
Okay.
And I will
Go ahead. Can we, sorry. This WordPress, Berenice, thank you for touching on that. This WordPress, my website, how do I forgot the word. ¿Cómo exporto? How do I export from my
that will depend on each site will
WordPress?
have an individual way of doing exports. And some of them may not let you export. It may be a matter that we need to hire somebody in the Philippines to help you move them. Some of them have a very, easy export process. Some of them don't want you leaving, so they don't let you take your ship.
Oh.
Pardon my French. They don't let you take your stuff. So we will have some
That's my
Bernice,
case.
if you want to call me offline, I'll be happy to give you some consulting ideas. But if your website natively does not support schema and does not support SEO, it's probably their business decision not to do it because it doesn't make business for them for you to do it yourself.
Yeah. Yeah, agree.
People tell me people tell me SEO people tell me well, keywords, nobody ranks with keywords anymore. I mean, you don't need those silly things, my gosh. But when
You
you
do.
sell me a Google ad, what are you selling me? You're selling me keywords.
Exactly.
You're the highest ranking person for homes in Plano with purple walls. That's a long tail keyword, but you're telling me I shouldn't use those. Why would you tell me? Why would you talk me out of doing something that you're now selling me for amount of money each month?
I agree. I think SEO is
Why
not
would they lie about that?
SEO is not dead. SEO is the wife
No,
of
not.
AEO. So it's
Yes.
SEO is the wife, and remember, wifeys. I'm not a wife anymore, but I was a wife. Wifeys are the rulers of the world. So SEO is the wife, AEO is the husband. They have to go together. You just don't drop AEO and say SEO and say no. AEO is the winner. No, 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 no. SEO and AEO, the same rules apply. But you all now have a new son. That's the LLMS. Okay, thank you.
This family's going to be very complex here in a minute. Okay. So let me cover schema as an idea
Yes, please.
and then give you a site. Okay. Think of schema as post-it notes. If you have a document, you're going to put little post-it notes all over it. Here's where the phone number is. Here's where the text is. Here's the title. Here's who wrote it. And that schema helps the search engines and the AI engines know what your document is about. Who remembers hypertext markup language? HTML. Okay. Okay, this is back in before that there was something called WordStar before WordPress and it was WordStar, and you had to put a bold in front of the character and a slash bold at the end, and so it's basically that. I'm old. I've been in IT for too long. There is a website called Google Structured Data Markup Helper. If you create a blog and it's on your site, then you go to this and it'll upload that file for you. And when you upload the file, this was somebody's Mother's Day brunch thing, you can go in here and tag what the title is. You can tag, it'll have the blog that you created on the screen, and you can go highlight. I want you to recognize this is the tag. This is the image in the blog. This is the author of the blog. This is what the blog's about. And it'll write the schema for you. Then you take that schema and put it back into your site. If your site supports schema. If not, then you can go ahead and just do it through your WordPress or whatever site. There's another site I want you to think about. I don't know if they do schema. So I'm about to say something I have not tested. Active Rain. Active Rain is a site from the 2010 era. It has a really good Google engine. When you put a blog on Active Rain, Google picks it up within like 30, 40 minutes. I mean, it just indexes so super fast. I don't know why. It's $200 for the year. And it's this great little Google engine. And then Facebook came out and everybody ran away from blogging and went to Facebook. Because we have a new whiz bang. Let's go with a new whiz bang because we forgot the old one. It's still sitting there. That little Google engine is just sitting there, still churning out for $200 a year. Go on Active Rain and put it on there. See what it does. I have
Active
not tested
Rain.
schema on there.
Mhm.
So come back and tell me if you do that, if schema works on there, because I just thought of that. Thank you for making me smarter. Does schema make sense to everybody? It's basically tagging the documents you're doing and the frequently asked questions and your listings and things like that you're putting on there. It's tagging it so that it understands, oh, I need to see this as the important part. That's what this important, rather than it trying to figure it out, you're helping it. And it likes it when you help it, rather than it having to figure out, Angela, what did you mean by this document? I don't understand. And this website will help you with that. This structured site builder will help you with that. Google wants you to be successful to a point, and then they want you to buy their ads, but they are helping us with this.
Okay.
Any other questions? What do you think about Real Scout as an IDX? You know what? I'm not here to promote or pick off any brands. So if you want to call me individually, I'll talk to you.
Okay.
I have two that I really, really like, and the rest of them are just kind of,
Coach, can you talk about LLMs.txt real quick? We have 4 minutes.
Can I be honest and tell you no? I don't know that I can talk to it because every website will have every company, whether it's Real Scout or Real Geeks or Lopo or whoever, will have a different way of doing it.
Okay.
So in theory, you need to put this in your root directory so that the LLMs know what to do with it. I'm not going to be able to talk to that because every single one of them is going to be different.
Okay.
Every single one of them will be different, and you need to deal with your provider on how to do that. I like the theory. Now, there's something else you need to know that's out there. There's something called robots.txt. So let's go
Yes.
to here. Robots.txt will tell a site, oh, you don't have one. Interesting. You're wide open. Robots.txt will tell you which browsers, which crawlers to allow and which one not.
What do you mean I'm wide open?
No, my
I don't see
page.
I don't see a robots.txt on here. So there's nothing, I don't either nothing's being blocked or everything's being blocked. So that would be, who's your provider?
Bulletproof?
Ask them about their robots.txt because I don't see one.
Thank you.
Okay, so this is for Sandra's site on Coldwell Banker. They are saying to allow certain bots and to disallow certain bots. Now, there are certain bots that your provider will say, nope, we're not letting those in. We're not letting the people crawl from certain countries that are trying to figure out, how to take down our website. There was a major provider who I will not name. Their sites were down for 6 weeks about 2 years ago. Nobody could get in to their systems. Nobody could get into their CRMs. They were down. Okay, so I want you to think about this. Ask about your robots.txt because some of them will not let ChatGPT, Gemini, Claude, and Grok crawl. So think about that.
Okay,
Okay,
so
I
this
got to
was,
jump here. Any final
yeah.
questions before I end up?
No, just really quick. Every third Friday of the month at
Yes.
12 p.m. Eastern Time, Coach Bob is inviting us to his AI lab. So immediately after this, in 2 minutes, you can jump in the link that I shared and you can participate in the AI lab. And then on May, the third Friday of May,
It's the exact same Zoom,
that
so they
same
can just stay
thing,
on.
June, third Friday of June. Okay? Thank you, Coach. This was enlightening.